So today I want to talk about dating, and I'm talking to those people that are really out there trying to date. Somebody that has made the conscious decision to make an investment in a love interest so that they can at some point be able to cash in on their investment and be able to live a fulfilling life that they desire. One that they can be their full authentic self and continue to grow in that relationship together. Now, I'm not talking to those who just jumped out of a relationship and now they into the next relationship. Not saying that anything is wrong with those individuals, just the situation. Triggers coming your way. No, this is a message for the people that have really decided that I want to do the work for the relationship that I'm looking for. I'm really ready to put in a full investment into this relationship, So when you're dating somebody, please remember that we are not dating to see if we're compatible to have fun. Because when you have an individual that has a minimum to no social life, or they just working and coming home and they don't have really too much other things going on, because again, they're trying to fill something in their life that's missing. So they might not have as much going on throughout the regular weekly basis as they would like to. All right. So now we're planning a date with somebody. So we're going to plan for this date to be as fun as we can. Now, when we get on this date, we having the ball, right? We doing these things. We're enjoying ourselves. We having a good time. Now, that can go perfectly smooth for the first date, right? Now, when you go on that second date, you already know that y'all compatible to have fun, right? So now on the second date, we're going to plan something where we both like mutually enjoy so that we can have that fun again. And we enjoying ourselves. Every time we go out on these dates, we having a ball. We see little things, in between here that might be a trigger for us, but we're enjoying ourselves. I say this to say that when you're dating, please make sure that you're asking the appropriate questions. Where was you born? Where were you raised? Who raised you? Because those questions are very important, because a person's personality can be totally different from being put in an environment for fun, or an environment that's set up for success. Because at some point or another, you're going to get the opportunity to meet the real person behind the fun. You're going to get the opportunity to meet the person that's deep down underneath the surface. And sometimes that person has been through some traumatic experiences that have taken away from them, that this date has helped them be able to find joy from. But now that you're out of the date, and everything is back to normal, and now we want to be able to have this successful relationship together, you're experiencing these triggers and these barriers that this individual have. When if you ask the appropriate questions in the beginning of the relationship, where were you raised? That tells a lot about a person, because if you know where a person was raised, you know what their mindset or the mentality of community is. If you find out who raised this individual, then you know what their compatibility of love is. If they were shown love, they know how to give and receive love. If they weren't shown love, then that's something could be worked on. That's something that you would expect that you're going to work on in a relationship, because their idea of love might not be your idea of love. And better yet, ask them a question. What is your idea of love? Because we may have these expectations sometimes in relationships to say that, I'm with this person and this is what typical relationships are like. So this is what our relationship should be like. But you didn't actually have the conversation, and this person has a totally different thought process on that situation. These are the things that we talk about when we're on a date. The person's educational background. You want to know how much this person is going to be able to comprehend. We're depending on where you are in life. Certain levels of comprehension might be okay with you. But if you're on a level in life where you've really been doing the work on yourself to make yourself as whole, or to really become your authentic version of self, then you're going to want to put yourself in a relationship with somebody that has the capacity to be able to understand you. Because then that's the only way that you're going to be able to express your authentic self the way that you want to. When dating somebody, we want to ask people, do you have any children? We want to know that, because we want to know what is their capacity to love children. Do they even like children? And we definitely want to know about, the other people that they have the children with, what is their relationship with the person that they have children with, if they have children, prior to you guys becoming engaged in a relationship. You want to know that because you want to know where those children stand in their life, because that says a lot about a person. What the relationship is about, or what is the relationship like with the other individual, because that says a lot about a person. You want to know what is the relationship with this individual with their parents. If they have parents around, you want to know. If they're being taken care of by somebody else, we want to know what that relationship is like. Who raised you? What is that relationship like? I want to know what it's like for you, because nobody processes exactly the same. Everybody is different. We're all on our own journey. So you want to ask the appropriate questions in a relationship so that you can be able to gather enough information to know that if this person is going to be an appropriate investment for the long term. Because if we're just out here dating and we having a ball on every date that we go on, then the talking, the part of really getting to know who's inside, we missed it. And we're going to continue to miss a lot. And that's when we fell on our investment. Or you could be one of those individuals that just decided, you know what, in order for me to get over this person, I'm jumping under the next person. We done went from one relationship to the next person, and now the next person gets to deal with all of the unresolved triggers, unresolved issues that we might have had in the previous relationships that we've had throughout our lifetime. Now we may have even found the person that would be the ideal person for us, but now we have so many blockages that we're lashing out at this individual to where you miss your mate. You scare them away. Now you done missed or lost what could have been the best thing that you've ever had. Now that's up to you. This is just a message to get you thinking. This is Shaman Skies. Namaste.